Welcome to Good Goodbyes, the Funeral Facts podcast. We are really glad you found us. In this podcast, me, Simon, a funeral director,
and me, Tina, I'm an independent celebrant.
we're going to discuss all things funeral in an informal space to demystify what happens when we say goodbye.
Based on your questions and queries, Si and myself are two industry professionals that are going to chat through the hows, whats and wherefores. We actively work in the funeral industry in Devon in the UK. So, we hope you enjoy the episode ahead. Welcome to Good Goodbyes. Hello, welcome to Good Goodbyes. It's Tina here and I have a guest with me today, Monika. So,
Hi,
Monika,
Tina.
Hi there. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Monika. I'm the owner of Digital Gravestones and other creative little projects. And I'm based in Edinburgh, Scotland. Thank you very much for having me today.
No, it's wonderful to have you here. I used to live in Scotland myself, Monika, many years ago. I used to live in a place called Dumfries.
Okay.
And I really enjoyed living in Scotland. It's so beautiful. But you've got a nice combination of accents then. So because our listeners will be going, what is that accent? Where are you originally from?
I was born in Poland, but majority of my life I spent in Scotland. I moved here 20 odd years ago.
Yeah.
Just for a year. That was the plan, and then I stayed,
Yeah.
a bit longer.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm happy here. And
yeah, you're happy there. Yeah, you enjoy it.
Yes.
So digital gravestones, people will be thinking, oh, this is interesting. Can you explain simply for the listeners who might be hearing that term for the first time, what does it mean? What is it?
It's just simply an online memorial. It can be done for a person or even a pet. It can be linked with a physical item like QR code, plaque, or NFC tag. I can, tell you a bit more about those later on. But it's more or less a page on a website or a website itself, depending what person needs. And it can contain anything from just photos or biography, photos, videos, and other creative elements. I'm a very creative person and I'm a web designer as well, so I can develop different things for different people depending on their needs and budget as well. I try to research what's currently available on the market and I try to add a little bit more, a bit extra. And also I do that for people. I know that some websites allow people to create online memorials for themselves, but I always like to go a little bit extra and provide bespoke service depending on the needs again. So yes, that more or less that's a digital gravestone for you.
And it's so interesting, isn't it? The way that our lives have changed even in the last 10 years, where we're moving more into digital spaces to do all sorts of things. And I was at a funeral yesterday and it's conducting a service, and it's not unusual for there to be music and a photo tribute. And that's kind of all very digital. And, that would be unfamiliar for most families. And this was a lady in her 80s. So it's not just the young folk, so to speak. Mm-hmm. It's all age groups. Yes. So you can see how we're looking for something different when we're remembering people. What got you into it? What made you have this kind of idea?
Well, it was kind of my friend's idea. Unfortunately, her mom passed away last year, and then she saw somewhere online, an online memorial and the QR code plaque, and then she thought she would like to have something similar for her mom, but the platforms she could find were not very suitable for her needs, and she wanted something more bespoke and more personal. And she wanted somebody else to do that for her. And she met majority of the websites were from America. And then I was like, oh, I've never heard about that. And I did some research. And then a few days later, I had my whole new website up and running. So I believe the contact with the person, and I used to work in customer service as well. So I know how valuable that is. I prefer to talk to a person. So instead of finding something online that's not, sometimes suitable, and just sale. But this Digital Gravestones project is not just for money. It's for helping people. I also started my journey as a counselor. I'm just at the very beginning of learning about that. I signed up to the college, and I also have my other website, Pet Legacy, where I create online memorials for pets, because this is very important for people as well. So I kind of try to help people with grieving, and everybody grieves in different ways, need different things to help them to go through those stages. So I think I a little bit understand people, and obviously I attended funerals in my family as well, so I might understand other people from that point of view, how they grieve, what a kind of experience that is. Obviously, it will never be the same, but I can try to understand. So
yeah.
And
I think what I really loved about what you just said, Monika, was that bit about having a person to talk to and guide you through. So nowadays there are lots of things online, and they might suit a lot of people very well, but this is a moment in time when you're grieving and you just had a loss, and all of your sensible brain isn't necessarily working, and even the most technical person just gets quite overwhelmed and just doesn't know where to start. So the fact that you can have a human, a lovely person to talk to, who will hold your hand through a process, then that's a bit of magic. Actually, that feels really good.
I agree. I totally agree with you. And also, you might be able to do everything yourself, but you just don't want to. And you just need a bit of help. That's it. Like with everything else in life,
Yeah. And I think, as I say, even the most capable of us, when we have a loss and a death, our heads aren't on straight for quite a while. And I think it's just that kindness that you need. So I'm imagining maybe a gravestone or a plaque, and there's a QR code on there. So if I scan it, and a QR code for listeners who are like, I don't do QR codes. It's kind of, if you look at it, it's a picture of all different kind of black and white squiggles, and you put your phone over it, and your phone prompts you to go to another page, and there you are. So that's kind of my very basic explanation.
Yes, but there's also another option, NFC tag. So you've got like a wee antenna integrated with a business card size, or it can be a keychain with an NFC tag inside. So you just tap it with your phone and the page opens up. So it's another option for people who want to have something more personal. So, if you want to share it with somebody, you just take the card out of your wallet and share it with other person. You don't have to have necessarily a QR code plaque, and it can be, hidden. So you just use it when you want. Not everybody else don't know what that is, but it's only you. And if you have that keychain, it's always somewhere with you, with your keys. So that's another option. And obviously, you don't have to have a QR code plaque. It can be just a link. And QR codes can be added to anything, a photo, a poster, you can have a magnet on the fridge or something like that. So there are a few possibilities.
I can imagine all sorts of things, and I'm going to really enjoy exploring this with you. So you scan away. So there I am. Somebody says, oh, here's a code you can scan in whatever form we decide. And there I am. I've landed on a page. What What might be there? What can people create?
It depends. What you say depends whether the page is hidden with it's password protected or not. So you might need to put a password. The password will be shared with the person who created, who ordered that page. And once you get there, if it's not password protected, you can see usually it's a photo of the person who passed. Biography can be short, can be long, photos and videos. I also offer like different designs. So it could be a life of map, showing on a map different places the person liked or, were very important for them. And it can be audio file played and explained what's where and why and the dates, for example. We can have a poem, so I can help to write it, or somebody else might have that prepared, so that can be added on a page. I can generate audio file for this as well, because sometimes people prefer to listen, and also they might have different preferences or might not able to read it. There can be a photo cube with photos, another, idea, just anything the person needs.
Yeah, the potential is endless, isn't it? Because I'm thinking of a couple of things, actually. I'm thinking of the fact that you could have a whole folder that's just grandma's recipes. And
yes.
Couldn't you? You could, if you wanted to, you could go in and go, oh yes, this is her recipe for scones and what have you. And it could either be typed out, or you could have a photograph of her handwritten scone recipe, couldn't you?
That's a very good idea as well. Yeah. And I can also create a mini book or a folder in a different program and link it. So it could be in PDF file. So for example, you click on it. So the whole book opens up with photos and her recipes, and you can download it as well. So you can share it with other people who would have access to the page.
And also I'm thinking of, because I worked in a hospice as a nurse before I became a celebrant, and I was with one lady who was a younger lady who was dying in her mid-30s. She had children. And one of the things that was important to her was that she was what she called her legacy plan for after death. So she had written a number of birthday cards, which were to be given to her children on the birthdays that would happen after she died. And I guess would be another way of doing something like that. So you could work with people who haven't yet died, but know that they're going to die, and have a folder in which, when those birthdays happen, the person can go and find their card or a letter.
Yes. Oh, yes. Thank you very much for sharing that story with me. It's very touching because I'm a mom as well. And I was very close to death too 3 years ago. So I understand how important it might be for some people to share something like this with their loved ones and prepare for their own funeral, for their own death. You can design anything with a page, and it depends on your creativity, imagination as well. But I'm here to help if that's needed.
Yeah, and for our listeners, thank you also for sharing that, that you were in that situation. I'm sorry to hear that, but I think what it does is it kind of sharpens our attention to the future. Even if it's a future that we're not going to physically be a part of, our memories and our sayings and all sorts might be part of that future, but we physically won't be here. And what I noticed in the hospice was, for some people, it was really important to plan ahead in that way. And that lady, the thing that most, I found it, like you say, all very touching. The bit that was particularly a moment for me was that she had 2 sons and a daughter, and she'd written them all a letter for the moment in time when, if you marry. And you think, gosh, this could be, and some of those children were like, one was under 5, this could be in 20 years time that the adult is opening something from their mum to feel that mother's presence in a wedding that might be like 20 years ahead. And it gave her an extraordinary amount of comfort.
I totally understand.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think talking about all these things is really essential, because my mum died 7 years ago, and yesterday my daughter has done really well in one of her assignments at university and got a first, and it's really exciting, and it's the kind of thing my mum would have been so thrilled about. But there is nothing left behind from mum, there's nothing, she hasn't done this. So we don't have her voice in our minds now, we have our imaginings of it. So there's something special about it, isn't there?
Yes, and there's also another element people can add to online memorial. I call it silent letters. So it can be written by somebody close, and in a way that the person who died, who's not with us anymore, would say that. There's an example on my website. So we would generate the text, or the person from a family member would provide that, and I would generate the audio file as well, so people could listen to that. It's usually helping to pass on a message, something special.
Because as you quite rightly say, and thinking of the digital side of things, you can physically write a letter, and that could be appearing in words or in the book that you spoke of that you could create. But you could also do a video of you, couldn't you?
Oh, yes.
Saying and if anyone's ever watched, I'm just gonna think if I can remember the name of it. I think it's called Afterlife. Is a TV show that was a drama. Yes, it was called Afterlife, and it had a chap called Ricky Gervais in it, and most of it is about him struggling with the loss of his wife, and she has left behind all these videos for him to look at, and one of them is titled something like "For When You're Being Stupidly Miserable." And he opens this video, and it's her, she go, "Now look, I know you're gonna probably today you're feeling stupidly miserable, but I can't help that I've died." She's like, go and do some stuff, go and get yourself fish and chips, or she's kind of like just instructing him. And it's a very powerful drama, Afterlife, actually. And because I guess you keep feeling her presence popping up in video form, even though she is not there. I'll pop a link in for our listeners. But have you ever watched it?
No, but it sounds very interesting. And you see, when you have those little videos hidden somewhere on a phone, on a USB stick, and you can gather those elements from other family members as well and have it in one place and share it, then revisit that place, I don't know, for Christmas or any anniversary, birthday, and so on. So yes, it's quite interesting, and the possibilities are endless.
What sort of things have people been sharing that sort of warmed your hearts? What sort of things?
Videos and audio files, because I prefer to listen, and when you listen to somebody's voice, you can get all the feelings, and that message. Yeah, I prefer to listen when it comes to online memorials.
And are there sort of any myths that people have about digital gravestones, about their security or how long they might last?
Yes, that's a big thing about how long the website or the page might live, because some companies say that they will live forever if you pay £50 or £100, but I think personally it's not possible at all. We live in times when we don't know what's going to happen with internet in 20, 30 years time, how it will look like, because everything is changing so quickly. So I always promise my customers that their online memorial will live as long as the website is live, and obviously I'll try to keep it for as long as possible. But nothing is free in life, so obviously if the website exists somewhere, somebody needs to pay for it. So if you know what I mean, and that's what I always tell my customers. That's I just want to be open and straightforward before they commit to anything. But also I offer a package where I download all these little elements to a USB stick. So even if they decide in a year or 2 years time that they don't want to continue with the page anymore, they still have that USB stick with everything, so they can go back to this and share it with other family members.
And that's the kind of nature of things, isn't it? I mean, I've got a video that I keep meaning to put, a VHS video from when my daughter was little. I keep meaning to get it into a more modern form of being able to view it, and I can do it. I keep thinking that I ought to do it because we don't use VHS videos anymore. We've all moved on, haven't we, to streaming, and that's just like you say. That's just the nature of the world.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah. So we talked a lot about creativity and choice, and what I also thought was, if you were researching an ancestor, this could be so useful, couldn't it? If somebody finds a digital legacy in the future of us, they'll be like, oh, I feel like I could get to know Tina a little bit, especially if I know where she lived and went to school and her favourite places on a map. Have you had anyone talk to you about that side of things?
Yes and no. I've worked recently on a project that was called Pennycook Witch Trials. It was about 11 women in 17th century who were accused of witchcraft, and some of them died. And then I tried to help that charity, and I thought this Digital Gravestones would be perfect for this, because we can literally give those women a voice. That's what we did. Unfortunately, we couldn't find many details about them. For most of them, or all of them, we knew only the name and surname, and nothing else. The age, family circumstances were not known. But I created online memorial using more creative side, and it was not to show the historic facts, but to remember those women, because they were silenced so many years ago. And the women who are involved in that charity, they are trying to find out more about those women. So maybe in the nearest future we will know more. Who were they? Maybe we'll be able to trace their ancestors as well. I know some ladies do spend a lot of time on this and going through very old books, that are held at National Library as well. And yes, so maybe if we nowadays create online memorial, that could be very helpful in the future as well.
Yeah.
Especially if you have, I don't know, grandchildren, and they will grow up, and in 20, 30, 40, 50 years time, they can go back to that place and think, oh, that's my granny, that's my granddad, and they would know more information about us.
Because I think it really leans into us telling each other the storytelling. And, in many other cultures, all of their storytelling is verbal. It's passed on from generation to generation, isn't it? Folk tales and all sorts of things. But often I will hear people say they wish they had known certain things about the person who's died. And the person just hasn't shared those stories whilst they were living. The other thing that comes up from time to time is when people are surprised. So, you know, in the arranging of a funeral, you might be talking to family members, work colleagues, friends, and people will go, "Oh, I didn't know she did that when she was 18. Oh, that's come as a surprise to me." So, you know, there's that as well. You know, we are so interesting in the way that we live our lives, the different parts of us, that it's wonderful to think that we might capture some of that, really.
Yeah, I
So,
agree.
before we kind of move on to talking about your own digital legacy, is there anything else that you would want people to know about the digital gravestones?
Oh, it's hard to say, to be honest with you. No, I would like to maybe just mention again, maybe people could remember that this is something creative, you know, that can have different shapes for different people, and anything and everything can be added to online memorial. I know some people who are able to create a website. They can, you know, create the whole website, not only a page, as online memorial for a person or maybe the whole family. So yeah, there the possibilities are endless.
If people went onto your website, would they find examples so they could kind of picture in their minds what it might look like?
Yes, there are a few examples on the main page. So if you type digitalgravestones.co.uk and scroll down, you'll have a few examples.
Perfect. So I'll definitely put that in our show notes for folks to find it. I'll also put a link to the witch trials. I think you said it was the Penny witch trials. Is that right?
Pennycook witch trials.
Pennycook, yeah. Fantastic. I'll definitely, I'm writing that down, as they say. I'll definitely do that, put that in the show notes for people. So we're coming towards the end of our chat, really. But thank you so much, Mike. It's been fascinating. And on a separate episode at another time, Monika and I are going to have a chat about pet legacy, actually, because we think that would be a good thing to talk to you all about. But your own digital gravestone, then, what if you were no longer here, what kind of things would you have on there?
Oh, I know that question was coming, and to be honest with you, I was thinking about that for long, and I really don't know. I only know that there will be millions of photos because I'm a photographer as well. And on my phone, probably I've got 80,000 photos, and I don't want to delete any of them. Yeah. So I always have problems with photos and videos. There will be videos. And I was just thinking about biography. I'm not sure whether I want to write my own biography, or I prefer if somebody else do that for me. But the segments for each child, because I've got 3 children, 2 boys and 1 girl, just like the woman you mentioned earlier. Maybe I would record something for them, so there will be a video, maybe some text as well. And it's just one of those things you don't think usually about. And I believe a person needs to be prepared and in the right place for something like that. Because sometimes when I think, oh, I'll create online memorial for my granny or my grandpa, and then I'm thinking, maybe I'm not ready for that yet, you know? So it's, on one side, easy to talk about, but when it comes to making this, preparing or doing, it's another story. I don't know what else I would have I will have there. But yeah, videos and photos, certainly. Yeah. And I would love if some people would be able to tell a few sentences about me, because that's also a possibility as well. Maybe share videos. I've got another idea for the future, but first I want to focus on that. I've got so many creative ideas, but there are only 24 hours in a day. There's also possibility to create a platform. So each person, like a family, would have a dedicated platform for a group, for a certain person who passed away, something more like Facebook, so people can just share photos, videos, stories, to be seen by other people. But currently on online memorial, it's only guest book that can accept the words from other people. So yeah, that could be interesting. Yeah.
Thing to explore. And it is such a tightrope walk, isn't it, when we're planning for our own death? Because it's one of the few things that we all absolutely share, that we will all die one day. And it's the timing, isn't it? Because if we die unexpectedly, some of us won't have prepared anything, and that wouldn't be unusual, I don't think. But then talking about death and talking about dying and preparing, I always have a saying that if we talk about sex, we won't get pregnant. So if we talk about death, it won't bring on our dying any sooner than we were ever going to die. But some people take comfort in preparing, and other people would rather not think about it. So yeah, I can completely see where you're coming from, actually. Yeah.
Tina, what's about you? What would you include in your online memorial?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm quite a chatty person, as you probably guessed, and I would certainly have a few videos, but I think I might like to do them along the lines of, listen to this video if you're feeling fed up, or listen to this video when you want to hear Tina's wisdom about booking a holiday. I just would probably do some kind of random things. And photographs. I love books. I might put some recommended reading in there of books that I've loved and I think have been life-changing for me. And maybe even extend that to movies that I think, you should, would be my recommendations. So things like that, kind of come to mind as ways that I could create a space that felt very individualized. Yeah. Yeah. And I liked what you said about other people's contributions, so that they felt they could talk about me from their angle, because when we die, it's not just all about us. It's about everyone that we leave behind.
That's true.
What a good question. Thank you for asking me.
Not a problem.
Well, I think I've loved this conversation. Honestly, Monika, thank you so much for coming on and talking all about digital gravestones. We will be, as I say, signposting everybody to it, and we'll see you soon to talk about pet legacies. That would be great.
Yes. Thank you very much, Tina. All pleasure is mine.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
You've been listening to Good Goobyes, the Funeral Facts podcast. Please do like, subscribe, comment and share. Drop any questions on our social media, on Instagram, or in the text option in the show notes.
Si and I are qualified professionals, but we always advise our clients to seek any additional support from medical practitioners if they need to. And we hope you enjoyed this episode. Stay well and be kind to one another.